The very first thing you will see when opening Smart Albums is the album specification window, which you're seeing on the screen like now. And if you don't set it correctly, your entire album can export wrong. So in this video, I will show you exactly how to set up album sizes properly inside Smart Album. So the first thing we want to do here is to basically understand all of this that you are seeing here. This window, the window structures here are before you design anything. Basically, you have to need to know some of these things. Like we have the new here, which basically signifies you want to start a new project. This you want to open a previous project, and then this one is maybe you want to watch tutorials and all of that. So we're going to start with this new one here. We just click on new. So once this new opens, it's going to come up with these structures, and then this structure windows basically controls your entire album structures and size. So before you design anything, you need to know your album dimensions, you need to know your album resolutions, the safe zones, and the layout setting. Just basically think of it as the foundation of your project. All right, so now if you look at here, we have what we call company album company preset. Then we have album companies. You will look, quite number of companies are here that you can choose from. Imagine I choose these Luguena albums. You will see that the album size range 5 by 5, 8 by 8, 10 by 10, 12 by 12, 15 by 15. So you see, basically they only have a kind of direct albums that may not readily be available for every country, maybe Nigeria or any other part of the world. So what we do here is that we're going to go to custom, which is where this video is more concerned. Like I was saying, this is more like it controls the structure of your album size, all of that. So the basic things you'll be seeing here, you have the DPI, and then you have the spread width, which you can see, and then we have the spread height, then we have the safe zone, like I was saying, and we have the layout types. So these are the basic things we will cover in this video. They are the most common or the most important concepts. All right, so the DPR for my settings, I'll always leave it at 300. Okay, then the unit inches. Now, what album size are you planning on designing? So you need to understand the album size you're planning to design. So this very concept is the part that confuses more beginners, or most beginners rather. So in smart photo albums, you do not enter the size of one page. All right, you enter the size of the full spread. That's a spread means left page plus right page together. When you hear a spread, it means left page, right page together. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So if your album is 10 by 10, that is 10 inches by 10 inches. So what it's saying is that one page is 10 by 10, then the full page will now be 20 by 10. All right, so get it this way. So this is a design of 20 10. So it's for 2 pages. Okay, so 10 by 10, it's going to be 20 by 10 inches. That's why small album double the width. All right, so the width are always doubled. So if you're designing 8 by 10, so if 8 is the width, 8 will be doubled. All right, I hope you understand. So example, 8 by 8 will be 16 by 8, 10 by 10, 20 by 10, 12 by 12 will be 24 by 12. I hope you have a better understanding of this. So we're going to go with 10 by 10, which will have 20 in the width and 10 in the height. So you leave the trim the way they are, and the safe zone, all right, I've already said that the DPI will leave it at 300. Is the best for professional print quality. All right, so the trim at 0 inches, unless your print lab asks for maybe bleed settings, keep trim at 0. If they didn't ask you for the bleed settings, just leave it at 0. So the safe zone, which is here, you can have a few recommended settings here. For left and right, you can leave it at 0.25, 0.25 in inches. So the top and bottom also 0.25. Then inside, you leave it at 0.5. Okay, so this prevents important part of your pages, for your images, sorry, from getting cut off near the edges or center fold. So it prevents that. Maybe maybe when we design, you maybe understand it more practically, because it's more like I'm explaining too much of theory, but I'm just trying to have this setting so that we understand some of this basic thing. So I guess the whole settings is done, but then inches versus pixels, just to have a recap of some of the experiments. If you're confused about pixels, here is some of the formula. So on screen, uh, pixels is equals to inches times 300. So if you have 1 inches, multiply the 1 inches by 300. So if you have 2 inches, you multiply it by 300. Okay, so if you have 20 by 10 inches, if you multiply 20 by 300, you should have 6,000. If you multiply 10 by 300, you should have 3,000, if I'm right. Okay, so basically this is just how you can get your pixels and all of that. This matters when exporting high quality album. It really matters. All right, so these are basically the settings you will need. So the next, we'll go to next. Yeah, include all spread template. Yeah, so we go to next. So here on the next aspect, here now, we want to choose template of how we want our album to look like. Do you want it to be this, or do you want it to be this, or do you want it to be this, or do you want... So basically is where we're going to choose the template. These are all template. These are without template without square frames, template with 3 by. So basically you will just choose anyone that you like. So for this, I'm going to just say all templates so that it can just have a rewind of any of them in time you want to change anyone, instead of restricting just all of these. So we're going to go with full template, and then we'll leave everything the way they are and click on start. So once we click on start, it will ask us to save. I'm just going to do that, and then it's going to load the libraries and template. Okay, so once it is done loading, it will open up our album. So once these settings are correct, you're ready to start designing your album properly. And trust me, getting this setup right from the very beginning saves you a lot of problem later. So in the next video, we'll create our very first album inside Smart Album, step by step. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the very next video. For now, bye.